Thank you, Eric, and thank you for coming and listening to these presentations today, and I appreciate the opportunity to introduce you to North Arrow, for those of you that have not heard the story, and for those of you that have, just to provide you with a bit of an update. North Arrow we're listed on the TSX Venture Exchange. We are under the symbol NAR. We're a diamond explorer. When we rolled this out about 2 years ago, our plan was to bring together the three components that you really need for a successful junior exploration company: experienced people with good projects and money. The people involved in the company, essentially it's the ex-Aber Resources exploration team that was involved with the discovery of the Diavik diamond mine kimberlites in the early 1990s. We also have some of the principals involved with the Lugak diamonds involved with the company. Lugak is, in my mind, the most successful junior diamond mining company to come along since Aber. 2 years ago, when there was really not much happening at all in the Canadian diamond exploration space, we identified a number of projects that had great technical merit. They were either open for staking or they were available for option on very reasonable terms and for money in the ground. And a lot of these had seen pretty significant past expenditures and a chance to leverage that past exploration work to then answer that next critical technical question that needed to be answered in order to see whether these projects would move forward. On the money side, we've raised $13.4 million over the last 2 years. As Tommy mentioned earlier, very kindly, a big part of that backing has come from Lucas Lundin and the Lundin Family Trust. They own just under 20% of the company. Management and other insiders own just under 20% of the company, and a very, very solid share base. All of those financings were done at incrementally higher prices, at 15 cents, 40 cents, and then 65 cents. And we're left with 50 million shares outstanding, no warrants. They're all straight share financings. And for that money, our shareholders have seen 2 completed exploration drilling programs. That included the discovery of Canada's newest diamond district in Saskatchewan at our Piku project. They're currently seeing a 3rd drilling program at Piku, which is the follow-up on that discovery. It's happening right now. We'll be drilling through the end of March. And they've also seen the collection of a 1,500-ton bulk sample from a project that we really think could be transformative for the company. And it's an advanced project where we're looking to try and find out the diamond value of something that's been evaluated over the last while. So this slide just shows you where our projects are located. There's 7 of them. Some of them are at the very early stage. They all have very strong technical merit. Some are pre-discovery, all the way through to the Lugak project, which is in Nunavut, up at the north end of Hudson's Bay. Lugak it's an interesting one. We are earning an 80% interest in this project from Stornoway Diamond Corporation. Stornoway acquired it from BHP, and Stornoway and BHP spent in the neighborhood of at least $25 million evaluating this area, discovered in the 15 kimberlites. And very importantly in our view, is the biggest of those bodies, which is called the Q1-4 kimberlite right here, also happened to be the highest grade kimberlite, and it's the one that's closest to Tidewater and the community of Repulse Bay. And that location on Tidewater, we think, is an incredible positive feature of this project, and is very significant when one starts to think about moving forward and possible development scenarios. The resource that we have here, that was based on the development work that was done by BHP and by Stornoway, is about 50 million tons, 48 million tons at an inferred level at a ½ carat per ton. It's a pretty big deposit. That's only down to 200 meters depth. The body is bigger than that. The grade at 50 carats per 100 ton is pretty good, but with diamonds, that critical 3rd piece of information that you need, that you don't necessarily need with a metal deposit, is what's the value. And so that's where North Arrow stepped in. We're earning our interest by collecting a bulk sample from Q1-4, 1,500 tons. We're processing it right now. And as Eric mentioned, on Thursday, we announced some of the initial recoveries from that bulk sample. And this is a representative shot of about 20% of those results that we reported. What we knew going into this sample is that the diamonds at Q1-4, they look like typical Canadian goods. And Canadian production, it typically ranges from about $100 a carat up to $500 a carat. And we need to see where do we sit on that spectrum with this deposit. The other thing that we knew about the parcel is that there are these guys that we can see. There's a population of yellow diamonds within Q1-4, and with the results that we released on Thursday, we can clearly say now that those yellows are part of this population. And the diamond tears that have viewed these diamonds with the existing parcel that BHP and Stornoway had come up with, as well as photos of the newer parcel, Comments have been that this is a very unique diamond population. To see this many yellow diamonds in such a relatively small parcel is unusual, but it's very intriguing is the other word that we hear. We look at it as being very positive because these have been described as fully saturated yellow diamonds, and as we move into the bigger sizes, and we're seeing these diamonds are part of the bigger sizes, then they would be considered true yellow fancies and command a premium price. In fact, our 3 largest stones recovered so far are all yellow diamonds. And that underscores the fact that as we're moving into the coarser size fractions now, we're seeing more and more of these stones. By carat weight, they make up about 20% of the overall parcel so far. By stone count, it's about 8%. But the thing as we go forward now, and the next piece of news will obviously be finalizing the recovery of the diamonds from the sample. We still have over half of it to go, and then getting a valuation. I don't know what these diamonds are worth. We can look at them and we can talk about them, and that's great right now, but we need to get professionals and diamantaires that actually do this to take a look at them, and that's going to happen in Antwerp in April or May. But we can speculate on what the impact of these yellow diamonds might be. We know that yellow diamonds command a price that's in the neighborhood of an order of magnitude higher than regular commercial goods. So we can play around with numbers, and we can say, well, what if we have a mining operation where we have 95% regular commercial goods and 5% yellow fancies. And if we put a price of $1,000 a carat on those yellows, these numbers along the bottom here give you an idea of what the carat prices could be. If we were to raise that to $2,000 a carat for the yellows, then you can see the numbers along the bottom here and what that does. It's extremely sensitive to what those yellows could be worth, and that's the real critical piece of information we need to have, and then we'll be able to take it, plug it into our resource model, and we could move into a PEA scenario really quite quickly. This project, it hits a lot of the right boxes and all the right notes that you want to see on a potential development stage project. It's in a jurisdiction that you can permit a mine. Agnico Eagle has permitted 2 gold mines in the territory of Nunavut, just down the coast from where we are, in the last 6 years. It's on tidewater. There's a real history of successful mine development in Canada for deposits that are located on tidewater. The old Polaris and Nanisivik base metal mines, they worked because the deposit was right on the ocean. We think that freight costs to get materials up to Q1 to 4 would be on the order of 50 to 60% of the costs that it takes to get the same materials up to the Lac de Gras region of the Northwest Territories. This photo here, this is where the kimberlite sits underneath this lake, and it wraps around. It's 12 hectares in size. This is where we took our bulk sample, and there's the ocean right there, and really fuzzy, but there's the sea lift that was docking in at the community in the fall of 2012. Lots of blue sky potential. It's a big deposit. As we mentioned, the resource right now only goes down to 200 meters depth. It's still 7.5 hectares in plan view when you get down that far. We can get back and we can drill and upgrade our confidence in the size and the grade of this thing once we get our valuation. There's another 14 kimberlites that still need to be fully evaluated, and that's why with this valuation we're so keen on what we're doing. It's why we have the group that we have invested in this project. I mentioned Piku right off the top. We're also drilling there. I don't have a ton of time to go into it at all. This was a pretty exceptional discovery. We discovered this in 2013 during our initial drilling program after we came out of the gate and we were permitting to go get the bulk sample from Lugak. We hit kimberlite in 9 out of 10 holes. The diamond results that came from those holes, in particular the PK150 body, were the best microdiamond results from a new discovery in a new diamond district in Canada that we're aware of. We're back there now. We spent last year doing the proper technical work to identify new targets in this area. We've done that. We have some new targets to test, and we're drilling them right now. The thing I'd like to leave you with is it's infrequent that a company gets to the point where it's doing work in the field where the work will be material and you can have one of those inflection points in a stock price chart that we like to point out when we look at the history of discoveries, where the company has the corporate structure to do that. As I mentioned, we have no warrants. We have 50 million shares outstanding, and the point of that is so that when we make a discovery or we move Q1 to 4 onto the development track, that is represented and immediately is reflected in the market. And we saw a hint of that yesterday after our initial results. We were up over 20% on record volume. So this company is poised to react to positive news, and we have 2 shots at that right now, and that news is going to be coming in the next 2 months. So we're right there, and I'll just leave you with that thought. Thanks very much.